Hey everyone, we're doing our second podcast of Dark to Light. So I'm here with Joel. So Joel, what do you do?
I am a barber, first of all. You know what I'm
Okay, so you're a barber. What were you doing before that?
Before barbering, I was just going to college. So I was your typical broke college student who has a job. After college, I'll go to work. After work, I'll go home, cut hair.
Oh, okay. So you were like kind of doing it in between.
Yeah.
Did you finish college, or did you just decide to do barbering full time?
No, I'm your typical broke college dropout.
Oh.
That's how I was at the time. Yeah, I knew I wanted to do something that involved business. So I was studying business.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't pursue that. Like everything changed once I had the epiphany that I want to be a barber. So
that you just want to do a full time, like head first, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was the darkest moment of your life? Like, what brought you into like? Because I know I've like listened up on your story on social media, so I kind of want you to share like what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be 2 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember cutting in a garage, having $15, just a pair of clippers, being this broke, lost, lonely kid that lived in his mom's basement. Literally, I feel like that was just yesterday, but it's really been 2 years, and that would definitely be like my lowest point. Like everybody has that moment where they're like rock bottom.
Yeah.
Where they feel like there's no opportunity, like they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's called dark to light. I didn't see the light.
Oh, you didn't see the light at all?
I swear, like I saw it in my mind, but like nowhere in my surroundings was I like, oh, that's how I'm gonna make it out. Like I'll take this path. I see this person succeeding. It's just a bunch of examples of what I didn't want to be.
Oh, like everyone around you, basically, huh?
Bruh, and I was like, yeah, facts. I was just like, if I'm gonna turn out like this, like that was my biggest fear. Was like, I don't want to be anything like what I see around me. And that doesn't have to. Everybody has like things that drive them and motivate them. We all have the same. But for me, it wasn't. Like a lot of people that probably are watching this, it wasn't that I had great motivational things around me. It was just that they were like so not what I wanted that I knew I had to make it out. Yeah,
you had to like change it up. So like you were just $15 to your name, basically, like $15 to your name or clippers?
Yeah, like at the start of the journey. That's why I call everything like the documentary I've created. The name of it is $15 and a pair of clippers, because it's just like it represents where I was at. You have a point A and a point B. When I started our journey, that's where I was to where I am now.
Yeah, and what got you out of that? Like, what was that moment you were just like, fuck it, I gotta make a change?
I bought a plane ticket that was one way.
Oh shit!
With no travel insurance.
What about you only had $15 though?
No, so this was later in the journey. Like
okay.
So the story is that I started the journey, dropped out of college, quit the job I was working at. I was at a telemarketing job, and just went all in cutting hair. Because after school, I'll go to this job, make minimum wage. In Ohio, minimum wage is $8.
$8? Oh wow.
And then you pay taxes. Like, bro, you're not making nothing.
You're like $4 or $5 after
you're
tax.
Not. Yeah. So.
That's barely getting by at all.
Yeah. And so the moment where everything changed for me was after, for a year straight, I just like ate dirt. Like people say, like, oh man, I'm eating dirt. Like I'm really just saving up and I'm not doing anything else. Like no, I literally, every time somebody was like, Joel, let's go to the movies. Nah, bro, I got cuts to do. Like while you're at the movies for 3 hours, I'm gonna do 3 haircuts. So I would look at not going to the movies as additional income. Like,
oh yeah, that's a good mindset to have, because you're definitely trying to switch up your situation and go somewhere else. And what brought you to Sacramento, like out of all places? Because Sacramento isn't really known. It's starting to become known as a place that people travel to, but what brought you out here?
A lot of people ask that question, and when people think of California, when they're in Ohio, they think of LA.
Oh, like everywhere is LA, everywhere is like Hollywood, basically?
Yeah. Maybe like the Bay Area, but mostly just Los Angeles. Like, oh, bro, you about to go to LA? I'm like, no, I'm going to Sacramento.
And everyone's like, oh, California? Okay, that's cool, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So, like, did you have a job set up here, or like what happened with that?
Yeah, so I'm that kid in Ohio, still like most of the way through my saving period of like I need to have enough nest egg, freedom fund, stockpiled, whatever you want to call it, to go make this move, because I knew I wanted to go. Yeah. And I'm almost to the end of that. Like I had enough money saved that I knew I would be solid. I wanted to have 6 months of expenses. So I get off the phone call. Next thing you know, I'm setting my phone down from a 10-minute phone call with the owner of the Rich Barber company, which is like one of the biggest brands in the barber industry.
Oh yeah, and in Sacramento, I see their videos all the time. Like most of their like barbers are pretty blown up on Instagram and social media too.
Yeah, that's how I found them.
Yeah.
Instagram, social media.
How much are they charging a cut out there usually? Like a typical barber?
In Ohio or here?
No, at Rich Barber.
At Rich Barber, anywhere from like 50 to 70 for a haircut.
50 to 70. That's really good money.
Yeah.
Because times 160 hours, which usually people work, that's like eight grand a month. So that's already a 6-figure income that you were just going into, huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't given. I started out charging 35.
35. Oh, just to build up your clientele, because of course you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I just jumped in and started making 6 figures.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's actually really crazy, and that's cool that social media brought you basically to Sacramento, huh? Mm-hmm. So you just took a one-way flight and just explored it here, and you're like, this is what I'm gonna do, or?
So yeah, I hustled through the DMs, got a response from the owner of the shop.
So DM'd a ton of people in California, basically.
No, I did DM a lot of barbers just to get knowledge on what I wanted to do, which is an apprentice program.
Yeah.
It's really like I shot my shot and ended up making like an N1.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't even have a barber's license yet. So I wanted to get into a barbershop and do the apprentice program, which is where you still are a licensed barber at that point, but you have to go to class, but you can still work in the shop, charge money.
Oh, okay.
But basically, the owner had never had an apprentice, so he's like, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. So I had to like convince him that I was worthy of him trying something new, getting out of his comfort zone, and also giving a stranger opportunity at his barbershop. So like somehow I landed all of that, and it worked out perfectly, and here we are.
That's great. So what'd you say? Were you just like, hey man, like I need this?
That's a good question. This is where I feel like I can give some value to people that are looking for getting attention of like a mentor.
Yeah.
I did research that most people wouldn't do. I found out the names of his assistants. I found out like his business. I found out like what does he have problems with that maybe I could help solve.
Oh, definitely.
And this is when I'm 20 years old, so like I'm like, okay, I'm on the phone with him. I had already written out like how the conversation would probably go. This is like literally my one shot. Like if this doesn't work, I don't have a plan B. I don't want to work anywhere else.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we get on the phone, and I'm like, halfway through the call, I'm like, so I know you have 2 assistants, Chantel and Madison, and I know they handle like a lot of your online. He had online store products that are doing very well. He has patents on a few different barber products.
Oh, okay.
So they're booming, and it's like only people that are running his company are these 2 girls. Yeah. And they're just like
they haven't really cut like they're not as passionate as you about cutting hair.
Yeah, but they're not really into cutting hair. They're just more into like running his online store. Yeah. Taking care of his barbershop, handling the management, while Chuka just focuses on the creative vision of building the company. Yeah. So they're handling everything, like in terms of shipping products, you name it. Customer service, customer care, responding to emails, whatever it is.
On top of running a shop, and then they're doing that, pushing the sales.
So to convince him, I was like, well, I wouldn't say to convince him, but I knew it would set me apart. I mentioned their names. First off, he's like, oh, okay.
This guy did his research.
Why does this guy know my, why I got his attention? And I'm like, look, all I want to do is help. I feel like if I came out there, the first thing I could do is help take weight off of their shoulders, which would take weight off of your shoulders. Yeah. And he was like, oh, okay, I fuck with that. Okay.
Did you work for free, like up front, or?
I started out working as I'll basically ship the products that the girls were shipping, like literally he has combs with a flashlight on it. Yeah. He patented that. Yeah. So now barbers have lights on their combs so they can see even better. So that's just one of his inventions. And whenever people would buy them, the girls would package them in manila envelopes, put the label in there, sticker it on top, send it to the postman, and then they send it out, right? They're doing all their fulfillment. So I took that over when I first got
so you were like doing like the really like
the most boring task for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. I was
Were you getting paid?
Yeah, so he started paying me minimum wage, which doubled out here because I think minimum wage is like, what, 15?
Yeah, it's a lot more out here.
It's a lot more, more than 8. But it still wasn't much, and it's not anything like what I wanted to be doing. It wasn't attached to my vision at all, but the point is, that I wanted to say is sometimes on your journey, you're gonna have to do things that don't really align with where you plan on going, but it's a stepping stone. So like you're just climbing this mountain, and this just happens to be a due that you gotta pay. And every task has like a purpose behind it. Like every day I didn't want to go to the shop, package envelopes for 3 hours. I wanted to be cutting hair. Like that was my main focus.
Well, at least you had that in your like front of your vision that hey, this is gonna get me there.
And it's amazing. Like, that was my main focus.
But at least you had that in the in your like front of your vision that hey, this is gonna get me there.
And it's amazing because that job wasn't even that was no position for someone to come and do that.
You basically just created the like need for you.
So go in the direction of your dream, and then the position will be created for you. You just have to be bold, and people will see that you're serious, and they'll make way for you. Basically, that's what happened.
And how did he reject you at first?
In terms of like trying to work there?
Yeah. Or did you have to follow up on it?
I had to follow up. I followed up, bruh.
How many times? Like, because most sales are 8 to 15 times.
8 to 15. I didn't have to do 8, but I was all over his YouTube, leaving comments like whenever he.
Oh yeah, that's probably counts as follow up. As long as every contact.
And he was seeing them too, so it was cool. And then
these guys are messing around.
Yeah, I had a YouTube channel where I did a review on his barber product. It's called a 1-minute blade modifier. He has a patent on that as well. $1 million product.
That's crazy. He has all these patents, and you wouldn't like. I had no clue that a barber could do so many patents on products. That's insane to me.
For sure. He just got Entrepreneur of the Year, so he's like different. He's not just a barber.
Oh, jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I made a review on the product. He saw that and he's like, damn. So that's who this kid is. Okay, interesting. You know, he's just giving me more value. He just kept seeing it, and then I DM'd him multiple times. He finally responds and says, hey, sorry for the hella late reply. Yes, we might be able to work something out. That's all I needed to hear. I was like, all right, bet.
And all you need is that one shot. You're good. You're good.
Yep.
And you just basically burn the boats, and you're like, I'm here in Sacramento. This is what I'm about.
Yep.
And it's crazy that a lot of entrepreneurs are coming out of Sacramento, like huge entrepreneurs. Like I'm hearing a ton of like success stories, like not only you but like other people as well.
This guy's next.
And then what's your why and what keeps you going?
My mom, probably one of my first whys, because she bought me my first pair of clippers. And then what keeps me going is just being inspired, doing what I love to do every day. It's not about like being motivated necessarily.
Yeah.
But like every day I'm jumping out of bed because I know I'm not that lost kid that was in that basement going to school, not even sure what I really wanted to do with this degree that I was working for, then going to a telemarketing agency for hours after class to then go home to do like $7, $10 haircuts.
So what was your little script like when you would be on the phone? Like what would you be telling people?
It was for donations, and what I found out was it was like a phony company. Like they were taking like 90% of the donations as their profits. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm not doing any of that anymore.
Yeah, and so you actually have so for example, you say you have, how old are you right now?
I'm 22.
22. So say you have around 50 years to live. What do you want to be remembered for?
Just an authentic, genuine person that had a positive impact on people's lives. When they think of Joel Thompson, I hope they think of one word, and that is a marathon. Like it's not overnight. You know, I look up to a lot of people who started out. Nipsey Hussle, when he first dropped his first mixtape, it was in 2004.
Yeah, and that's
the world really knew his name in 2019. That's when he got his first nomination for a Grammy. Like, you know, his business, he was worldwide at that point. That's 15 years, 16 years. I don't know math. Barbers don't have to know math. I don't know.
That's a crazy amount of time.
So if I know I started my journey about 5 years ago, and for Nipsey Hussle it took him 15 years, how long is it going to take me?
Yeah.
Let's say it takes 15. I'm okay with that. It's a marathon. 50 years from now, that's a lot more time. You know, we can create a lot of impact.
Definitely. And that's why I want to start this podcast, because this will live forever.
Word.
Even when we die.
Facts.
Our kids are gonna pass this on generation to generation, which is crazy to me. Yeah. This is what's gonna be left of us.
Charles' little great grandkid is gonna be seeing
He's
this.
gonna be like, wow, look at my
OG.
Look at my OG. Look at him, what he's doing.
My OG great grandpa.
So hold on, let me look at the last question. So if you can give one piece of advice to anyone right now, what would it be?
Go in the path that is the most fearful, and fear will move out of the way. Like, I heard that advice when I was that kid. I keep referring to this kid because this is dark to light. When I was in the dark, I heard a guy named Elliot Hulse. I don't know if anybody's heard of him. He's an amazing mentor. He does like strength camp on YouTube, but he said in one of his interviews that the most controversial but best advice he could give was go in the direction that fears you the most, and the fear will move out of the way. So like, it's the same concept of the path less trodden, you know, and it makes all the difference. It's true, because if I would have listened to everyone around me, I wouldn't be here. You know, I'm living my dream like to the fullest, and it feels so good to like have a vision of something when your life is at its lowest, and then you just achieve everything you thought about. I never would have done it if I didn't go towards my fear. You know how scary it was to hop on a plane, go to a city I'd never been in. I didn't know a single soul here. Like,
you gotta start all over, basically.
So that's my advice, bro. Go towards your fears. Like, your fear is a great indication that's the direction you should go. If you have a fear towards something, like, oh man, every time I do that, it scares me. That's a good thing. Keep going.
All right, well, thank you so much, man.
My boy. It. Yeah, it's a blessing to be on here. I'm glad to be on the podcast.
Yeah, so if you need a barber out here in Sac, hit up Joe.
Right on.
His information will be in the video.
When I buy my first house, I know where I'm going.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.